I'll tell you what, I've played this game, I don't even know how many times anymore, a lot. I have had at least 20 TAVs, maybe more, and I have never seen this dialogue from Astarion, so I've got to figure it was added with patch 4 because I have not once seen it before. The way I managed to find it was by playing the game entirely different than I normally do. Now, usually I'm using my Illithid powers all the time to get by more difficult areas in the game. Goblins in the Blighted Village, Illithid Wisdom past them to avoid the fight. Can't pass a hard roll, Illithid Wisdom your way to victory, so most nights I don't have the power available. On my first patch 4 playthrough, I missed it entirely because I was using my powers in much the same way I normally do. But I know this must be new because I have also played games where I don't use my powers at all as a sort of test to see what would happen, and I never saw this option appear. Well, on this most recent playthrough, I was trying to romance Gale, and having a lot of trouble getting the weave scene to show up. So I was running around just getting approval for him in the grove, and avoiding using any squiddy powers that would add extra scenes at nighttime. So I'm resting a lot, trying to get these scenes to trigger, and I really lagged behind in getting to Astarion's boar to trigger his bite night because I was just resting, then talking to someone else for approval, and going back to rest again. By the time I finally got out to the boar, I wasn't even thinking about the event because I've seen it so many times before. So I'm going to sleep, and Astarion is there trying to drink my blood, and we have the same talk I've had over and over, but then something new happened. I'm not going to spoil it, just watch, and all of this will make sense.
If I just had a little blood, I could think clearer, fight better. Please.
Oh my friggin' god, what is this? A new option? I'm legit freaking out inside right now. Like, new Astarion content, what will it be? So let's hear the rest of this juicy tidbit.
His mind opens up, revealing cracked and quivering memories. At their heart, you see dark eyes commanding you to feed. You open your mouth and bite down, not into a tender neck, but into the twisting body of a rat, the only thing your master lets you eat.
Yes, I ate whatever disgusting vermin my master picked, so you can see why I'm slow to trust you. But I do trust you. And you can trust me.
What? I was so blown away by this, even though it's not even much in terms of length, but the quality of the content is amazing. The dark eyes commanding you to bite not a tender neck, but a nasty rat? Ugh, what an awful, awful man Cazador was. It's funny, we've all sat here and considered some of the awful things Cazador might have done to our poor Astarion, but I never considered he would be so cruel as to only let him eat rats? What the heck? I remember the story he told me about going out to hunt down these beautiful people in Baldur's Gate for Cazador, and then being told he would have to eat a rat instead, but I wasn't aware this happened all of the time. It's also crazy insane to see the complete change of Astarion's personality here too. He goes from incredibly confident and sassy to acting almost like a wounded animal. He hangs his head low, he just looks incredibly vulnerable. I've never seen him look quite this vulnerable the entire game so far, not even when you convince him to tell you about his dream. You then get a new option to mention the things you saw inside his head, saying he ate animals because he was forced to. And Astarion's demeanor remains almost ashamed as he recounts that he actually had to deal with his master forcing him to eat rats all the time. He looks legit sad here. I mean, to me personally, this is a real window into his soul. I can't even imagine having to explain to someone that not only are you a vampire, but that you had to eat whatever disgusting vermin your master picked. He segues the sensitive topic into trust and how you can see why he'd be slow to trust you. Well, yes, I could certainly see that. I have to say the new interaction really opens up another layer to his spectrum of emotion, and I really liked getting to see it. Maybe I think about these kinds of things way too much, but I had never imagined the possibility of getting Astarion to open up like this so early on. I thought this sort of vulnerability was going to be way down the road, like maybe after dealing with Cazador. I actually like the idea of him being more trusting with me sooner, though, and I'm absolutely floored at his admission, even if we had to be kind of invasive to get the information. It makes me feel bad as heck for him, though. I can't imagine having to eat rats like that, having to be forced into some kind of worse than slavery existence where you can't even choose to say no. Just Cazador says it, I must do it, even eating rats. All of the time. I'm actually kind of surprised that Astarion hasn't gone on a killing spree now that he is free of the chains. Considering he had to eat nasty rodents all the time, it makes me wonder if he is either A, a softie at heart and doesn't want to kill people, or B, is having trouble with his newfound freedom and is sticking to what he knows. It's not like he doesn't get to chomp on bad guys when we're fighting now and then, though. I also noticed this weird blob that kind of shoots out from your neck when he stops feeding. I'm guessing it's a sort of placeholder for real blood that will splatter out later on. I had to actually slow it down to see it because I was like, what is that? I hope whatever they do replace it with is just a little spurt though and not too gory. There's also some blood dribbling down Astarion's chin now, which is pretty cool and fits the mood a bit better. So how about that scene? Are you guys all kinds of gushing, blood pun intended, over getting to see some more information on his background and getting to see him all vulnerable? Now I'm going to have to walk around never using my powers to see if there are even more opportunities that I might have missed on my first patch 4 playthrough. Tell me what you think below. Woo, for getting more Astarion content. Every little bit is just more delicious icing on such a beautiful cake. I also wanted to make a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. If any of you would like to join the family, you can click my Patreon link in the info section below. Every little bit helps, and you'll get access to more updates as well as unfiltered content. See you guys later!